They feed in the shadows. If you have ever felt a chill crawl up your spine after a horror movie, that unshakable sense of being watched, listen closely. What I'm about to tell you isn't just a story, it's a warning, drawn from my own sleepless nights and whispered confessions from others who've brushed too close to the veil between our world and theirs. They're out there, and they're watching. Not just in the flickering shadows of a cinema screen, but in the quiet corners of your home, in the steam of your shower, in the darkness behind your closed eyes. They feed on your fear, and once they've tasted it, they don't let go. I used to love horror movies. The Exorcist, The Conjuring, Paranormal Activity. Those were my late-night rituals, curled up with a bowl of popcorn, chasing the thrill of a good scare. I'd read ghost stories online, diving into forums filled with tales of haunted houses and spectral encounters, each one more unsettling than the last. It was entertainment, a way to feel alive in the safety of my own apartment, or so I thought. I didn't realize I was inviting them in, offering my fear like a beacon in the night. I didn't know they were watching me back. It started after a marathon of supernatural horror films one rainy weekend. I'd binge through classics, each one based on true events, or so the opening credits claimed. The stories felt distant, like they belonged to someone else's reality. Priests battling demons, families tormented by unseen forces. But that night, as I lay in bed, the air felt heavier, like the room was holding its breath. I brushed it off as post-movie jitters, the kind of unease that fades with daylight. But it didn't fade. The next evening, I stepped into my bathroom for a shower, the patter of water a familiar comfort. I closed my eyes, letting the warm stream wash away the day, but my mind kept replaying scenes from the movies. The contorted face of a possessed girl, the guttural whispers of something not human. Then I felt it, a prickle at the back of my neck, like a cold finger tracing my skin. My eyes snapped open, heart pounding. The bathroom was empty, the mirror fogged with steam. But for a split second, in the corner of my eye, I swore I saw something in the glass. A distorted silhouette, too tall, too thin, its edges bleeding into the mist. I laughed it off, shaky but determined to stay rational. Just my imagination, I muttered, scrubbing my arms as if I could wash away the unease. But the feeling lingered, a nagging certainty that I wasn't alone. The water kept falling, tap, tap, tap against my skin. But every so often, there was something else, a touch too deliberate, too cold, like the brush of decayed fingers. I froze, staring at the showerhead, willing my heart to slow. Nothing. Just water, just steam, just me. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every creak of the apartment, every shift of light through the blinds felt like a signal. I kept my phone close, scrolling through X posts about paranormal experiences, hoping to find someone else who'd felt this. I found stories, too many stories. A user described feeling watched after watching The Exorcist, hearing whispers in their empty house. Another swore they saw a figure in their bathroom mirror after a Conjuring marathon, its face obscured by long, matted hair. The posts were old, some from years ago, but they mirrored what I was feeling with eerie precision. One user, their account now deleted, had written, "They don't just watch, they wait. And when you're scared enough, they come closer." I told myself, it was coincidence. The mind plays tricks after horror movies. Everyone knows that. But the next day, things got worse. I was working from home, my laptop open on the kitchen table, when I heard it. A low, breathy sound, like someone exhaling just behind me. I spun around, chair scraping the floor. Nothing. The room was empty, sunlight streaming through the window, but my skin prickled and my eyes darted to the hallway leading to the bathroom. The door was slightly ajar, though I was sure I'd closed it. I forced myself to walk over, each step heavier than the last, and pushed the door open. The bathroom was empty, the mirror clear, but as I turned away, I caught a glimpse of something in the reflection, a flicker of movement, like a shadow slipping out of sight. That's when I started noticing the patterns. The feeling of being watched wasn't random. It was strongest when I thought about those movies, when I let my mind linger on the images of twisted figures and hollow eyes. It was like my fear was a signal, a flare shot into the void, and something was answering. I stopped watching horror movies, deleted the apps, avoided the forums, but it didn't matter. They were already here. One night, I woke up gasping, my body rigid, unable to move. The room was dark, but I could feel it, a presence, heavy and oppressive, pinning me to the bed. My eyes darted to the corner where the shadows seemed to pulse, forming the outline of something humanoid but wrong, its limbs too long, its head tilted at an unnatural angle. I tried to scream, but my throat was locked. The air grew colder, and I swear I heard a whisper, low and guttural, like words spoken underwater. Then, just as suddenly, it was gone. I could move again, and the room was silent, but my chest ached like I'd been holding my breath for hours. I started researching, desperate for answers. I found accounts of similar experiences, people who'd felt watched after horror movies, who'd seen things in mirrors or woken up paralyzed, certain something was in the room. Some mentioned the sets of those films, how the crews had reported accidents, unexplained illnesses, even deaths. One article detailed the troubled production of a lesser-known horror film that never released. Equipment failed, actors quit, and the director vanished after claiming he saw something in the dailies. The pattern was clear. These entities didn't just haunt the stories, they haunted the people who told them, the people who watched them. They don't just scare you, they want to consume you. I started taking precautions. I avoided mirrors at night, kept the lights on, played music to drown out the silence. But it's not enough. I still feel them, especially in the quiet moments. The other night, I was washing dishes when the faucet sputtered, and for a moment, the water felt wrong. Too cold, too heavy, like it carried a presence. I looked at the window above the sink, my reflections staring back, but there was something else, a faint outline behind me, a face that wasn't mine, its features blurred, but unmistakably wrong. I dropped the plate, the crash snapping me out of it, and when I looked again, it was gone. I've tried to warn others. I posted on X, sharing my story, hoping someone would listen. A few replied, sharing their own experiences, shadows in doorways, whispers in empty rooms, but most dismissed it, calling it paranoia or a good ghost story. They don't understand. It's not a story. It's a trap. Now, as I write this, my apartment is quiet, but it's not empty. The air feels charged, like a storm about to break. I keep glancing at the corners, expecting to see something, a flicker of movement, a pair of eyes. My phone buzzes with notifications, but I'm afraid to look, afraid it's not just a friend texting, but something else, something that's found me through the screen. I know they're here, waiting for me to slip, to let my fear spike just enough for them to close the distance. Last night, I had another nightmare. I was in my bathroom, the mirror fogged, but I could see her, a woman with no face. her head tilted backward, crawling toward me on all fours, her limbs cracking with each movement. I woke up screaming, my body frozen, and for a moment, I swear I saw her at the foot of my bed, her blank face staring into me. The room was empty when I turned on the light, but the sheets were damp with sweat, and my arms stung. There were faint red marks, like fingernails had grazed my skin. I don't know how much longer I can keep them at bay. They're patient, relentless. They don't need to rush because they know I can't escape. Every horror movie I've watched, every story I've read is etched into my mind, a gallery of nightmares they can draw from. They're in my head, in the shadows, in the quiet tap of water against my skin, and they're in yours too. If you're reading this, if you've ever felt that prickle of fear after a horror movie, be careful. Don't linger on those images. Don't let your mind wander to the shadows in the corner of your room, because they're watching and they're hungry. The next time you feel that chill, that sense of something just out of sight, know that it's not your imagination, it's them, and they've already found you.
Thank you for listening to this story. Don't forget to like and follow the channel so you never miss our next horror tale, dropping soon. See you in your next nightmare.